Minister, when the funding was being available for COVID-19, the government here announced the 5 pillar banks that you were going to send out the funding through. You never mentioned the credit unions, because I actually mentioned to you that time when the 5 pillar banks would be mentioned out. It was mentioned by other speakers here today, and I also am a credit union member. The credit union and the post office are the last 2 banking systems in Ireland that have people behind the counter that know you by name. You're not known by number. You walk into your local credit union, you know the staff behind the credit union, they say, "Hello Richard, how are you? How was your day?" But the banking institution is gone all online. Let's tap this, tap that, and you're just, if you ring up, what's your account number, and you could be talking to somebody from Dublin, from wherever you are, you could be talking to someone on a banking system. But the one banking sector that stood alongside us through COVID, and the only people that stood by us through COVID, when the banks turned around and said, we'll extend the term, we'll extend your loans, but you still have to pay your money off within the term, the only one that stood by us and gave concessions to us was the credit unions. The credit unions turned around and said, we will extend the term of your loan, and they extended the time. They didn't do like the banks done. They extended you for 3 or 4 months, the banks did, but they told you if you had a loan for 5 years, you still had to pay off that loan within the 5 years. That means that when things picked up, that you had to pay more, even though that we were in an economic crisis because of COVID. The credit unions turned around and said, we'll give you the 3 months, 4 months, 5 months, but we'll add it onto your loan and we'll give you the break now that you don't have to pay for 2 or 3 months. And the other factor you've got to take in here tonight is the legislation that comes down through the credit unions by central banks and all the rest of it is absolutely over the top. But Minister, did you know that the boards of all these credit unions are volunteers? They're local people in local communities that have volunteered to go on the boards of the credit union to look after the parishes and the areas and the towns and villages around them. They're all volunteers. But everyone that's in the banking sector, top shelf, are people that are taking the cream off the top and give nothing back, taking their big money above the top. But our volunteers that run our credit unions are local people that know where the local funding has to go back in. So if you do anything, Minister, the one thing you need to do is help the credit unions so they can actually come back and give the funding to the householders that want to build at an affordable rate. Because when they're competing with the systems that there at the moment, the central banks are making it far too hard for them to compete with the banking system.